I want to start in a place where I think a lot of people start off, and I'm sure there's somebody who's listening to me now, and you might be in that space. It's the space before you actually discover the wealth and the riches that's within you, and what we actually go through, what some of you are actually suffering, to even find the strength and breath to put your head over and above the water to breathe and say, you know, I believe I have something in this world to offer. I'll tell you a little bit about my story so you could understand why I can share this, not just with authenticity, but with the wisdom and experience to let you know that you could believe in yourself. You know, in the beginning, when you get up and you're, you know, I say when you're born, you resemble your parents, but when you die, you will resemble your decisions. You really don't know what you're capable of. You know, everything your parents are telling you to do. You go to high school, you might see a little bit of your potential, whether it's in sports or something, but you really don't know what you're capable of. And you start going through a season where people keep telling you what they think you should do. Some of you might be right there. I feel you should do this with your life. I feel you should do this. Or you should do this. You can make a lot of money. You should do this. This is what a lot of people are doing to make money. And it sends you into a place where you can be confused. All these suggestions, and they're suggestions being made by credible people, older people, people you respect. It can send you into a place of confusion because you have not really taken time to do that deep dive on who you are. There is wealth inside of you. There are riches inside of you. But you have to take time to investigate it because you don't want to be pursuing something that somebody felt they saw in you. You want to have the conviction that, yes, I did this, I studied this, but I don't feel it clicking when I do that. You want to get to the place where you're bold and you're brave and you're courageous to even sometimes say to your parents, I did this, I studied this. I understand that this might be your dream, but this is not what I want to do for the rest of my life. And I tell you, sometimes it's confusion, but sometimes you can get discouraged by attempting to do something you think it is, and then you're met with criticism. I remember one time I got up to speak, and a lady came with a list of green verbs. A list. She wrote it down. She says, these are all the verbal and grammatical errors that you made. Listen, I felt deflated. I went to the back. I did not want to come out to speak a second time. And when I did come out to speak a second time, I was just thinking about my mistakes. People who say, you're not qualified, you might not have what it takes, trust me, people are equipped with words and statements and phrases to get you discouraged. I think the Bible talks about be ready to give a word in season for him who's weary. So there are words that can strengthen you and empower you, but there are also words that can bring discouragement. Very early in your discovery, be careful of the weight that you give people's words. Be careful of their faces, that's their reactions, and be careful of their words. Now, some of you live in fear. Why? Because you might have something you're thinking about, but it's beyond you. You know, when God told Gideon, you're a mighty man of valor. Gideon's like, bro, mighty man of valor. You don't see the size of my tribe? We're poor. We're weak. Look where I come from. Look where I grew up. Look at my background. Look at my education. Look at my results. Look at what I came out of high school with. Look at my parents. Look at the money we have. You know, I spoke at a graduation the other day and I saw a mom leaving with her daughter and they were going to get a taxi. And I can tell sometimes when a child could be a little embarrassed about their parents' fashion or the mom was a little old school, and I said, boy, girl, I wonder if you know the blessing of just having a parent there with you. Forget what mom was wearing. Forget her dress. Forget her shoes. She was there. She was present. She was available. In my master's graduation, my friend who sat next to me says, link me later, I'll talk to you. I'm leaving this graduation. I say, where are you going? He says, I don't have anybody here. What am I waiting to cross the stage for? And I always remember that because it matters that somebody who you love and appreciate is there. But many people don't have that. And I can tell you, some of you might be facing the lack of support, the lack of encouragement. You want to head in a direction, but probably nobody has even put $1 behind you to support you, to encourage you, to invest in you, to say, yes, I see that skill, let me send you to a course. Yes, I see that skill, let me send you to a training. Yes, I see that talent, let me expose you to a little summer camp. You might have no support, you fear, you have the anxiety, you have words that are pulling you down. You have your own unbelief. Gideon says, you want to tell me I'm a mighty man of valor? Look at my tribe and look at me. I'm the weakest amongst the poorest. Folks, let me say something to you. Where you are is not who you are. I'm going to say it again until you get it. Where you are, look around. See where you are? That is not who you are. If you are king and you're standing in a dump, you're not rubbish. You're still royal. You can change your environment. You could decide that I'm going to change the people around me, the voices that I listen to, the places that I am. You can apply yourself in a different environment. And I'll tell you this, your environment is what's more powerful than your environment. The inner world is where you have to strengthen. You need some faith. You need some belief. You need to sit down with yourself and write some words. Make yourself a promise and don't break the promise. Make a goal and decide that I am going to hit this goal. I tell you this, I started off shy. I didn't want to say anything. I didn't want to speak. And then I had a teacher that says, oh, you're good in sports, but you won't be so good in education. And I took him seriously. Why? He's a teacher. You know, he has weight. He has credibility. But I heard Les Brown says this. He says that people's opinion of you, it does not have to become your reality. You remember that. The only words you take to heart are the words of God. And I started to allow God's word to shape me. Why? He said, Luke, you're the head and not the tail. You are above and not beneath. You are the first and not the last. I had to believe that. And no weapon formed against you shall prosper. And then I remember a man, you know, he came, Bill Hammond, he was a prophet. He came and visited my church. I was 9 years old. He said, son, God has called you to be a statesman. And let me tell you something. You need people in your life who can speak to your future. People in your life who believe in you. People in your life says, I see big things coming from your life. When that man said that, I was probably slouched down behind my mother. When he says, you're going to be a statesman. Straighten up. It's like I saw what he said and it created a different posture in me. I said, I do believe there's a statesman inside of me. And then he talked about language and he talked about study. And folks, I never released that word. I kept it in my spirit like a seed. I made it take root. And then I started to do things that I do believe a statesman would do when he was a child. Read different, listened different, acted different, stood out from the crowd different. I started to study the people who would speak. If you came to my office, you'll see pictures of a Martin Luther King Jr., Mother Teresa, a Barack and Michelle Obama, a Mandela, a Mahatma Gandhi. You would see pictures of people who mirrored the words that I believe that one day I will be able to impact the world, impact nations, impact people. I started to believe those things. I started to strengthen my inner world. So let me tell you this, we could have a long list of things that are working against you believing and even discovering the wealth and the riches God hid inside of you. But let me give you 3 things that you can take to the bank. What does that mean? Every person has been given a gift. So I don't care what anybody says to you. It is a guarantee. You know what guarantee is? As sure as you know there's a God, you are gifted. There is a gift inside of you. Second, the gift was given to make room for you. You know what that means? To make room for you, it will create opportunities for you. You have worth. You have wealth. You have riches inside of you. That thing that God gave you, He gave you that so that you can live. and have life more abundantly. He gave you that so that you could survive, you could take care of yourself, you could take care of your family, you can find meaning, and you can find prosperity. So one guarantee is that you are gifted. The second guarantee is that that gift can make room for you. The third thing, and this takes some of your potential, is that when you discover the gift, you develop yourself to use the gift, and you deploy the gift. See it a man diligent in his business, he will stand before kings. What does that mean? Now that I know that I have the gift, my diligence about the thing I am gifted with will put me in great rooms before great people, great men, and it will cause me to prosper. Why? Because the gift that you have will solve a certain type of problem in the world, and there are people who will pay you for that solution. So regardless of how you feel, right? I'm going to wrap this up. Regardless of how you feel, there's some emotions that you're going through. And sometimes that happens before you even believe in yourself. And I'm here as your brother. John Maxwell always say, my name is John and I'm your friend. My name is Luke and I'm your brother. And I'm here to tell you, you're gifted. The gift has power to make room for you. And if you're diligent with the gift, not only would you gain influence, but you will prosper. It's been a great time to spend some time with you. I look forward to making sure that you you get great value from the things that we're going to put out here. It's going to be some intimate conversations. I'm going to bring some great people to also sit with me, and we're going to have deep conversations on the way that you can personally grow and develop your self-mastery and your leadership for the future. Make sure to subscribe. If you're looking at this on any other platform, hit the link in my bio so that you can be a subscriber, part of the family, the Growth Gang family here on YouTube. Good day. God bless you.